Question I get a lot is should I start with kit beer or all grain? Everybody tells beginners that all grain beer makes better beer, but is it actually worth the extra 5 hours, hundreds of dollars in equipment for your very first brew or even your few first brews? Today I'm going to prove why starting with the wrong method might actually make you a better brewer in the long run. Wrong being if everyone's telling you to get into all grain, I'm going to tell you get into kits starting out. But let's I've already kind of given you the outcome, but let's walk through this because there's actually three stages. I'm going to show you what I did when I get into brewing. I went through the three different stages, and then I actually opened a brewery. So the three stages worked good for me. I've seen other people that have skipped the first two stages, gone straight to the third stage, which is all grain, and they make great beer too. But I'm going to explain to you why I think you should start with kit beer. So number one, I'm Big Rob. You haven't been to this channel. We use this channel to make beer easy. I'm all about simplifying the process to help you make good beer at home. That's what I do here. That's what you can check out on my blog. Let's quickly look at the difference between kit and grain. Kit is kind of like a bacon analogy, would be the best example to give you. Okay, I'm not much of a baker, but it's a great. Say we're baking a cake. It's a great example. Believe me. Let's say you're baking a cake. You go get yourself a cake box mix from the grocery store, whatever the hell they call those things. The hard work's done for you. All the ingredients are there. You just mix it up, and you're good to go making the cake. Very much like the kit. Everything's in the kit. You mix it up. You got the beer. All grain is very much like you bake the cake from scratch. You're going to have the flours, the eggs, whatever the hell goes into a cake. I don't know, but you're going to mix it up. You control every single ingredient. You've got to do all the work for that. Okay, so let's run through these like a boxing round. We're going to go a few rounds on that. Okay, the cost, round one, the wallet test. Kit, very low entry. You'll likely already have the pot that you need in your kitchen already. Okay, this is important because I know people have gone all grain right away, spent $1,000, $1,500 and everything they needed, did one batch and they hated it. Now they've got this big expense and equipment kicking around. They got to go sell on Kijiji or Marketplace on Facebook or what have you, and they're losing money. So all grain, you're going to need a mash tun, you're going to need a larger kettle, you're going to need a burner of some sort, you're going to need a wort chiller, you're going to need a lot more gear. So round one goes to the kit for beginners. Okay, round two, the time. Okay, let's call this the Saturday test. How much time do you have available to make beer? Okay, kit beer, hour max. You'd have to be really taking your time to take longer on brew day. I'm not talking bottling or kegging. I'm talking brewing. Hour and a half tops. All grain. I brewed the other day, and the wort chiller I've got, I got to get a new one. It takes too long. I was probably 8 hours, but you should be able to do a brew day with all grain in 5 to 7 hours. Okay, it's an all-day event, so you're committed to it. Okay, so ask yourself, do you have a full Saturday to give up when you're first trying it? Okay, so again, I'm going to go round two. If you don't get the time, is going to the kit. If you do get the time, I guess you could go to all grain, could do it. But I'm going with round two, round one and two. Go to kit brewing starting out. Quality, the taste test. This is interesting, and I'm going to put a link to a video where I did a brew day with a kit and made the kit better. Okay, so the myth: extract beer, the kits you buy, the can of goo, tastes bad. Okay, the truth is all grain gives you more control over flavor, but modern kits can make award-winning beer if you follow good sanitation and a few other things. Okay, so back in the day when I first started, didn't know jack shit about brewing. The kit beer was a little dicey. Okay, I didn't love it. It wasn't that great. It had that homebrew twang, the whole deal. Few things. Kits have improved significantly. You can make good beer from a kit if you just bought the kit alone. Number two, a couple tips that you'll see in the video that I'll put in the description of me brewing a kit and making it better is there's two things you can do right off the huff to make the kit taste better. Number one is change the yeast. Don't use the yeast that comes on top of the can. Get yourself some good ale yeast from your homebrew store, Amazon, what have you. I've got links on my website to some good yeast you can use. And number two is hop it. Okay, dry hop the kit. Okay, so a lot of these kits come pre-hopped. They all do. The Coopers and the My Beer and the Muntons, they all come pre-hop, meaning you don't, when you're doing all grain, you actually add hops to the boil when you're boiling it. This is already done in the malt. However, once you put it into the fermenter to ferment, you can dry hop. Dry hop, I'll put a link in the description. You can go check out dry hop, but very quickly it is adding hops to the fermenter during the fermentation process to make the beer taste and smell better, flavor and aroma. And those two things alone, the last Muntons I did, you would know, I could have given that to somebody, nobody would have guessed it was a kit beer. So you can absolutely make good beer. So the verdict, in my opinion, is if you're just starting out, use the kit. Now here's the thing. I'm going to explain to you real quick. So what I did is I started out with kit, okay? And the biggest part of, not the biggest part, but the most important part of brewing is sanitation. What kit beer does for beginners is it teaches you all of the aspects of sanitizing all your equipment. It teaches the aspects of transferring your wort, your beer. It teaches you how to ferment, and it teaches you how to package. So these are packaged beer like bottles and kegs. So these are 4 big steps in the brewing process. So instead of adding all the other steps that all grain would do, you're going to master these 4 things, which are very important. Sanitation is by far the most important thing when it comes to brewing beer. If you get any bacteria or what have you in the beer, it's going to go bad and taste like hell, and it's going to have that homebrew twang I talked about. I've known many people who've brewed their first batch of kit beer, loved it, and then their second batch they couldn't stand it, and the reason was they didn't get the sanitation down. So their fermenter was still dirty, it still had bacteria in it, what have you. They didn't get the process down, and the beer tastes like hell. Okay, so number 1, I started with kit. I did that. I nailed that. Then you can go into what's called partial mash. So instead of going, all right, I'm going to go learn how to mash and do all this stuff that all grain guys do, you can slowly learn how to do it by going from kit to partial mash, which what partial mash very quickly is you would take dry malt extract or liquid malt extract, the same stuff that these beer cans, the cans of goo, are actually made from. So you wouldn't buy the can of goo, you'd buy this dry malt extract, liquid malt extract. You'd follow a recipe. You would do it up on the stove, little boil, what have you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to steep you're going to steep grains into it, specialty grains. So the liquid malt and the dry malt are going to give you your alcohol. Specialty malt gives you the color, the head retention, different flavors, things like that. So you would use the malt extract to give you the base, and then you would learn how to steep grains, which is basically mashing when you get into all grain. So you would have this, then you mix the two together, and so you're learning the process. And you also, same thing, you start to learn how to put hops into the brewing process. So that's partial mash. So now you've done the kit, you've done the partial mash, you got an idea how adding hops work, how adding grains work, and then the third step is you go to all grains. So that's what I'd recommend. I think I actually have a blog post I'll put in the link, the description down below, that'll show you how to do partial mash. It might even have a blog post that talks about all this, so I might put that in there too. Don't hold me to it, I can't remember. Anyway, guys, here's the deal. Recommendation, my advice, start at kit, do a few batches, quickly move into partial mash, where you can use some specialty grains, then move into all grain if you like it, okay? Because when specialty mash isn't going to cost you partial mash isn't going to cost you any more than kit, but once you get into all grain, now you're incurring costs, and if it's not your deal, it's not your deal. And you might just say, you know what, I just want to make beer, and these kits you make now, you can get now, they make good beer. So you might not even want to spend the 8 hours like I did the other day brewing some beer. So if you've never brewed before, start with kit. Why? Because of all the reasons I just told you. Brewing is 90% cleaning and fermentation management. Master those skills on an easy kit first. If you screw up a $30 kit, no biggie. If you screw up an all grain batch after 7 hours of work, you might quit the hobby forever and you'll be gone, and that would suck. Okay, here we go. So grab yourself a kit. I'm going to close this out. Get your first batch going. In fact, I'm going to put the complete step-by-step through here, how to brew your first batch, because I know I do have that on my blog. I'm going to put that link, and then I will link also to me brewing a kit beer Muntons. And I'm actually going to do a kit brew, my next brew that I'm going to do, because I know a lot of people are asking about kits. So that's what I got, guys. Let me know in the comments what type of beer you're going to brew if you're just starting out, if you're going to go kit, and what type of kit you're picking up. Let me know if you got any questions. Let me know, and if you're an all grain brewer and you got something you want to contribute, go ahead and put that in here too, guys. That's what I got. Big Rob. There you go.